I think Franz is the best number 2 option in the league, apart from LeBron.
Suggs just played 75 games the year before last. He literally just
Kyrie. I guess.
Is he better than Cat?
Kyrie, Kyrie just doesn't exist.
I like him more than Cat.
He better than Kyrie?
Cat's a better player. Kyrie's a better player. Franz impacts the game more.
Is Cat a better player?
Cat's a better player than Franz? Why?
Absolutely. How about Jaylen Brown?
I don't think so.
I think so. Being
Wait, what's happening right now?
Chill. Talk to these guys, please.
Better than Franz. Come on, Franz.
Yeah, I think Franz over Jay Will, Randy Ball. Yeah, I'm really high on Franz, bro.
Wait, chill. You got Cat over Franz?
You better than Jim?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
But why?
Yes.
Why?
Okay,
What?
well,
why? What?
Why is
Wait, chill.
Gonna make all NBA first?
1 second, y'all. 1 second.
No, that's not. That's not.
I do. Let's talk about that Cat talk, chill. So you got Cat as. Wait, chill. I want to know. So we're talking about dark horses, but we can divert just a little bit. Chill.
Sure.
As far as second options in the NBA go, do you have Cat as a top 3 second option? And
a top 3 second option. Let's see. If I think about second options in the league today,
LeBron.
I was about to say when I think about the better second options,
Jalen Williams.
I think Cat better than him.
Evan Mobley in the NBA by ESPN.
Yeah. They got J Dub ahead of they got him better than Anthony Davis too, by the way.
Exactly.
I don't think they got him better than Anthony Davis. No. Let's see. Jaylen Brown. I think Cat is better than Jaylen Brown.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think Cat is better than I think Cat is better than Jaylen Brown.
Schengen.
Who's the second option? Who's the second option with the Clippers? Is it Leonard or is it James Harden?
James Harden.
Harden, for sure.
Is it Bradley
I
Beal?
think Cat is better than either of those guys. I do today. I think Cat is better than Jimmy Butler. I think Cat is better than Ivy or
Tobias.
I think Cat is better than anybody on the Milwaukee second guy. Let's see.
He better than Kuzma?
Yes, he is better than Kuzma. Yes,
Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful, Mars.
Sengun, I think he's better. I think he's better than Sengun. And to be honest, I don't think it's a huge gap, but I do think it's a gap. I do think he's better than Sengun.
Is he better than Julius Randle?
Is he better than a man?
Yes, he's better than Julius Randle. But
is he better than De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, right.
Yes, he is better than.
Is he better than Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Is he better than Evan Mobley?
Yes. It's not much, Mars. That gap is closing, but he is better than Evan Mobley. But the gap is closing. Yes, no doubt about that. And when we talk about Franz, we talk about him and Franz. I definitely think that he's better than Franz. When I think about how Cat affects offenses, I think he affects the offense way more than Franz does. I think he stretches the defense more. I think he gets downhill more. I think he maximizes. Yes, he does.
Gets downhill more.
Yes, I think he gets that. In the half court.
Can we get to the numbers, Mars? Can we get to the numbers on that?
I'm not know the numbers today. I'm just look them up.
I watched that 17 times.
If you see me just shaking my head like this, just know the numbers.
One of the best drivers in the NBA. He is one of the most efficient finishers. It is ridiculous.
Cat in the half court. When I watch Cat get downhill, in fact, Cat, I think he led the league in charges, so he will definitely get to the rim. Let's be clear about that right now.
It sounds like he's struggling to get to the rim.
But he's getting to the rim. He definitely will get to the rim. He leads the league in charges.
Oh my God, Jay, you watching Cat every day? Is Cat a better driver than Franz?
I think Cat is a better player than Franz, and is he a better driver than Franz? I see what Chill saying. He gets downhill more. He gets to the damn rim. He finishes at the rim. I trust Cat at the rim. Franz, that's kind of Franz's game down there. So that's a tough to take, Chill. But
so if you're okay, so if you're gonna stick with the drive, okay. I think that the shooting in any space, I don't think that there's a question. I think he's better on the glass than Franz. I definitely think he's better on the offensive glass. I think we could go to him in the meat and potatoes of games, and he's more reliable as a bucket getter than Franz. To be honest with you, I think there's a gap between him and Franz.
Cat is good, man. Cat is very good.
If you think that Franz and Cat are a conversation, then you have to think that Franz is the top 15 player in the game. You got to think that.
I just don't think we think Cat is top 15. I just want to make that clear.
Ain't 15 players in the game better than Cat.
I think you might be the only one up here who thinks that.
Really?
I know I don't have Cat top 15.
I definitely don't have Cat top 15.
Can we
I
name
Name
know
15 players in the game. Name them right now.
Let me look through the
Let's get a fifth.
I know
instantly
I don't have a top 15. I think Shea's better than him. I think Jokic is better than him. I'm going down the list EPM. Shout out to Dunks and Threes. I'm just going to read the list in order until I see someone who I don't think is better. So I think Shea's better. I think Jokic is better. I think Luka's better. I think Giannis is better. I think Wemby's better. Steph, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Halliburton. Okay, I'm going to leave out Kawhi. I think Evan Mobley's better. I think Anthony Davis is better. I'm going to skip Jimmy Butler.
Wait, so you got pushback on Kawhi?
I'm gonna leave J-Dub out of this. I think Franz is better. I think Cade is better. I think Ant is better. I think Kyrie is better. I think Zion is better. I think KD is better. I'm gonna leave Dame out of this.
Why did you leave J-Dub out?
Why you leave Dame out of this?
I'm trying to just go with the ones who I can't be bothered to have a conversation about right now.
You said
I think Jalen Brunson is better. I think Embiid is better. I've definitely named more than 15, by the way. I think LeBron is better.
I think
Devin Booker is better.
He's top 30, chill then.
Oh, I've got to Scotty Barnes. Nice.
I think he's top 15.
Wemby?
Well, of the names I said,
did you say Wemby?
Didn't disagree with more than 5.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Okay, my bad.
Because I said Shea, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Wemby. That's 5.
We just found out that
Shea, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, and Wemby are 5 names. I think they're better. So that's 5. Okay. Steph is better to me. That's 6. Donovan Mitchell is 7. Tatum is 8. Halliburton is 9. Kawhi would be 10. Mobley would be 11. AD would be 12. Franz would be another one at 13. Cade would be 14. Ant would be 15. Kyrie would be 16. Zion would be 17. KD would be 18. I don't know why you just shook your head at Kevin Durant. Next is Jalen Brunson. I think that's 18 or 19. I lost count.
I'll give you KD.
Joel Embiid would be the next one. That's about 20 names. LeBron would be the next one. That's 21.
I'll give you James.
Devin Booker would be the next one. That's 22. Do I think
you
Paolo's
think Cat's better than
I think Paolo's better than Cat, so that'll be 23.
Why is that laughable?
Oh, Trey Young. Trey Young would be 24. Trey Young would be 24.
Why is that laughable though?
So
that
Trey Young is 24.
That Cat's better than Devin Booker.
Do I think De'Aaron's better? No.
You watch Devin Booker?
No.
I think that's about it. So I'd say there's 20. There's 20 at least that I think about. There's 20.
And he didn't even name
skipped
Scotty
out
Barnes.
on J-Dub. I skipped out on some other names as well. So there's 20 at least. I think about.
I think that in of those guys, I disagree with Cade. I disagree with Franz. I disagree with Devin Booker. Let's see. There's some other ones.
Wait. Devin Booker, chill?
Yes.
I don't think that y'all realize how good Cat is.
Thank you.
I don't think that you give Cat enough credit. I think Cat can be soft, 100%. Cat can be soft from time to time. And I'm not going to argue
way more than Cat, by the way.
So chill. To your point,
how much
he was All NBA third team last year, right?
I thought he was going to be second team.
Franz is the most drive-heavy non-guard in the Eastern Conference.
Correct.
Sure.
But how much more does he drive than Cat? This is what I want to get to.
Franz drove 13 times a game last year. Cat was at like 7 or 8.
So,
and the efficiency,
almost twice as much.
I believe Franz averages more points per possession on drives as well. I think. But
so chill.
So I'm watching.
So if he's third team All NBA, technically you're right. That means he's top 15 last season, right? Depending on the regular season.
I'm glad you said technically because a lot of injuries.
In theory,
of course.
and
then in reality, he's probably closer to. I mean, for me anyway, probably closer to 25 to 30 than to the top 10. I would say.
I'm stuck on Devin Booker, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm stuck on Cade and Devin Booker. I'm stuck on Cade and Devin Booker.
I'm stuck on Scotty Barnes.
I'm stuck on Cade. First of all,
he's not better than Cade. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm stuck on Cade and Devin Booker.
What has Cade done? What has Cade done to jump him? I'm listening.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. Chill. The reason why I have Cade and Devin Booker better than him, number one, I think as good as I do believe Cat is offensively, I think that's where a lot of, if not all of his value comes from. I do appreciate
every ounce of his value.
Five that can spread the floor. He can pass. He can post stuff from time to time. Like, he's a great offensive option. However, his defense is putrid, Jill. And so 100%. if you look at people like Cade and Devin Booker, who you can argue are just as good offensively, I would argue because of the passing and playmaking aspect, they're actually better than Cat offensively as an offensive player. Add that to the fact that Devin Booker and Cade are better defensive players. Yeah, I think they're better than Cat.
Now let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, real talk, because I think we're in agreement that Cat on the defensive end, garbage, trash. I'm not going to argue that point. However, when you're on a better defensive team, does that help what your defense looks like? Because I think that Detroit, in terms of defense, I think that has something to do with how much better of a defender Cade is.
There ain't no way that you can look at that New York team with Josh Hart, with OG Anunoby, with Mikal Bridges, with all the defensive wings that they have, with Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. There's no way in hell you can look at that team and say, oh, Karl Anthony-Towns doesn't have enough defensive help around him. That's the real problem. No, the real problem is Cat and Jalen Brunson can't guard a soul. And when you put them in the same action, that's a problem. But the biggest problem of this is Cat is not your first option. So many teams can insulate their first option. It's hard to insulate your first and second option and still be a championship team.
Oh, wait a minute, though, Penn. That's not fair because we've seen Cat as a first option. We've seen him get his team to the playoffs as the number one option. Did we not see that? When he was in Minnesota? I thought he was the best offensive player on that team with Anthony Edwards, and I'm saying it to your face, 100%. Anthony Edwards might have been scoring.
What? So was he the first? Okay, so what's the first? What's first option?
How the hell was he the first option?
What is first option?
They ran their offense through him. They
ran
their offense. Really? That year that they played Memphis, they did not run their offense through him.
Oh, you're talking about, what's that, 2022?
Yes, that's where I'm talking about.
Wait. He was there with Wiggs, wasn't he?
No, 2022.
Okay, chill. If you're
giving
credit for that, Cade credit for what he did last year. Cade handled way more offensive load than he did last year, and I'm pretty sure Cade's a better rim protector than him. So, like,
he actually is.
Jalen Williams actually is a better rim protector.
Let's not be
Jalen Suggs is actually a better rim protector.
He will block shots.
There are so many wings and guards that protect the rim better than Cat. That is almost laughable.
I'm not going to argue that point. And there are so many wings and guards that Cat shoots better than. So when we're talking about the offensive, and including Cade Cunningham,
yeah, he does shoot better than Cade. He does.
I think if we're talking about pure in isolation, pure talent in terms of scoring the ball, Cat probably is top 15. In terms of singular players with offensive ability to shoot and score the basketball, he probably is top 15. But when we're talking about a totality of a player, what they bring to the table on both ends, I can't get there with him. That's all.
Damian, if fully healthy, and I'm talking the healthiest month of their life type of basketball. I'm talking, Marstown hoops level of delusion on Embiid's health level of health. Okay, we're talking crazy Chinese surgery, whatever the shit that they've invented with the glue and shit. I'm talking that type of surgery.
Okay, less than 12 months ago, but
Karl Anthony-Towns or Kristaps Porzingis, you got to win a playoff series. Who's your starting center? The idea that he is thinking about this tells you Cat is not a top 15 player. I'm just let you know.
Well, first and foremost, he might be looking at you like you're ridiculous to even ask this question.
I think 18
months ago.
Kristaps is a better defensive player. Kristaps is a better two-way player, but I think there's a gap there offensively between him and Cat.
And I think that we do that all the time with these players in the league.
Large.
KP,
yeah, but again, it really depends on what your team needs. Like if we're talking, like let's say we swap Jalen Brunson and Cade, right? And Cade can actually keep people in front of him. Cat doesn't look so bad on the back line.
Cat can be the
it really depends
on
the makeup. It depends on the makeup of your team too. That matters too. Like Kristaps Porzingis can guard the paint because you have Derek White, because you have Jaylen Brown, because you have Jason Tatum, because you have all the Drew Holiday, because you have all those guys.
He was a really good defender on the Wizards as well.
Protector even before he was on Boston.
Bingo.
For one.
But it allows him. I do think
the question. I just disagree. I think what allows KP to be a good rim protector is the fact that he's just a good rim protector. Also, Penn asks, who do we want at the 5? And it's without a doubt KP. Now, if we have a proposition where Cat can go back to the 4 and he's playing next to somebody like potentially a Mitchell Robinson or a Rudy Gobert, I then would sway.
Which has been at his best, by the way.
I agree. I would
just argue that his offense is way less valuable. but I guess.
Why would you argue that?
I don't think
Because I think his offensive value is maximized when he's at the pack.
Cat is a far better player than
he was still
Porzingis.
very much valuable for Minnesota because of his floor space.
I never said he wasn't valuable. I said less valuable.
Porzingis.
Rewind.
I think he's very clearly
Porzingis is a one-time All-Star, never made an All-NBA team. They're not really comparable.
I think that has a lot to do with health. I think
but we can't judge a player on potential health. We have to judge a player on what he
just did. I'm saying
judging Joel Embiid. All Joel Embiid fans do is judge him every day.
We've said
but Joel Embiid's won an
MVP.
No.
What I judge him off is what he looked like when he was.
I know. I'm just trying to get it off.
But Joel Embiid's been healthy. We've seen what he looks like when
I
he's
wasn't
healthy. He's won an
talking about
MVP.
full season. I wasn't talking about a full season. I wasn't talking about 82 game marathon. I was
talking about a
talking about
playoff
first
series.
series. And the reason that I would
All
take, I'll say it plainly, I would take Kristaps 10 times out of 10 and 15 times on a Sunday. I take him because he's just way easier to build around. And I get the same value of a big who can shoot. Now, Cat is a better player. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Offensively, he's marginally better. KP is leaps and bounds better defensively. And yes, Mars, I said marginally better. He is marginally better. Let's not act like KP is ass on offense.
I'm just going to disagree. I think Cat is significantly better offense.
I just want to make sure that
what does he do?
I still see your point. I just
want to make sure that
he's
a better driver. I'll give you that. He's a better driver.
He shoots the ball
I
way
just want to
better.
make sure that we're not derailing the conversation because Mars thinks that.
Yes, way better, Penn. Don't make that face. Way better.
Kristaps is 36% for his career. Karl Anthony-Towns is arguably the greatest three-point shooting big man ever.
He loves
that's a significant difference.
No, Damian, not 3-point shooter, shooting big man, not 3-point shooting big man, shooting big man. Yes,
center,
including Joel Embiid, Mars.
Center, cool.
Center, including Joel Embiid.
He ain't a bad shooter than Dirk.
To let you know, I just want to put this into context because I do think that it's important to fact 39% for KP the last 3 years. Okay, from three. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, KP
he may not have started as the greatest rim protector, but he became one. I'm telling you, in New York, I didn't really feel KP was like this amazing player that everyone was saying he was. But when I watched him in Washington, yes, I was watching those Washington teams, even though they were pretty ass. I was like, this dude has turned a corner in his basketball career. He became this elite rim protector. He was just doing a way better job of buying into a role. And I'm like, I hope some contender trades for him. And then boom, the Celtics traded for him. I just think 39% three-point shooter over the last 3 years. Is he getting the real respect for that? Like, he's played on average almost 60 games a year for the last 3 years. We're talking about health. Yeah, we're not talking about 2021 and 2022. We're in 2026 right now. So over the last 3 years, this mystery ailment aside last year, he's been more healthy than Embiid.
My thing about KP, the reason why I'm really high on Kristaps Porzingis, I just think that he's so valuable in 2025 basketball. Like, your center being able to, number one, stretch the defense and hit a three, right? Very valuable. That same guy also being able to protect the rim is very valuable. And then on top of that, in pick and roll situations, he can pick and pop with you, and it can be a lob threat. A lob threat 5 is very valuable. And then on top of that, his last full season healthy, he was one of the best mismatch hunters in the league because he would just Boston would run an action with him, pick and roll or whatever. A small would switch onto him. He would go right to that free throw line area, post up, turn around, and hit that shot at like a 50-something% clip.
Led the league in points per possession in the post.
That's right.
So what? Led the league.
I didn't even know that.
See, I test sometimes matches statistics. But anyway, I'm just saying, as far as 2025 basketball, it doesn't really get too much better at the center position for what you want your center to be able to do than Kristaps Porzingis right now. It's
now with
when he's healthy. When he's healthy.
Now with everything that you just.
Sorry, go ahead. The last 3 years, in terms of the best shooting big man in the league, we're talking about offensive efficiency, right?
Sure.
Karl Anthony-Towns, 57.8% effective field goal percentage. Kristaps Porzingis, 57.5. So 57.5 versus 57.8 is the gap. Okay. We're talking about marginal fractions in terms of offensive efficiency. Kristaps has him beat in most of the analytic departments. He just doesn't play as much. And I think that has a lot to do with his body type.
I love the numbers.
That has a lot to do with the body type. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that teams that have him know that we cannot run this guy 35, 36 minutes out there. So maybe the numbers are not as gaudy. He's not picking up all-stars, but he does have a championship. He does have a championship.
So with him not being able to be there for the amount of time that's necessary, like, wouldn't that hamper him? Because I think we talk about guys like Kawhi Leonard all the time. We talk about guys like Joel Embiid all the time, where as good as Joel Embiid is, as good as Kawhi Leonard is, his availability has always been in question. To Real Talk's point, when you're talking about mismatch hunting, I am 100% confident when I watched that Minnesota team play Denver, he snatched Jamal Murray's little ass and dragged him down to that box and paid attention to him and went after him on the regular. On top of that, he gets guys like Franz on the box and goes after him too, and then dragging those big guys away from the rim, which now affects their rim protection, which now affects their rebounding when Cat does that, especially in transition. So now we're talking about an offensive player in Cat who's elite, but can also rebound. Even when you drag him away from the basket, you know how bad he is as a defender. So he's more apt to just go rebound instead of just trying to stay in front of people. He's more apt to do that, which I value way more because now we're stopping plays. So when I think about
last year, over the last 3 years, Karl Anthony-Towns has played 163 games. Guess how many games Kristaps Porzingis has played over the last 3 games?
160? I don't know.
164.
Interesting.
Over the last 3 years, people in the comments are talking about scoring volume. Points per game, 21.1 versus 22.8. Like, what are we doing here? In terms of points per possession, Kristaps scores more. So people talking about volume are
give me Kristaps.
Are underrating the hell out of Kristaps. I'm going to tell you right here, he's just as efficient. The volume is just as high.
Yeah,
better
he
defense.
plays more games over the last 3 years, and he's a way better defender. What are we doing here?
Sounds like it sounds to me like we're talking about numbers and we're talking about data, and we're leaving out the other stuff in terms of eye test, which you guys tell me all the time. So if we're gonna do that with the data, it sounds like you got me. That's what it sounds.
No,
like.
chill. Well, I want to be clear as far as what I'm saying, and
like.
Because
the data is because ultimately the data is what you produce. Now the data doesn't tell everything because the data we can add context to that data, right? We can add context to the kind of screener you're getting. These are the reason why you're getting these open shots. I'm not getting these open shots like you are. There's a reason you're playing with the lead guard you're playing with, so you're getting set up different than I am. So a lot of times the data doesn't add stuff like that into it.
Jalen Brunson is a better offensive player than anybody Kristaps Porzingis has played with in the past 3 years.
Well,
Stop.
Chill's not going to agree.
He's not a better offensive player than Jason Tatum. No, he is not.
Maybe splash some cold water on your face.
In Washington, chill. One of these seasons that I'm including.
Jalen Brunson isn't a better offensive player than Jason Tatum.
You're going to know your audience.
No, sir.
No, he's not. I'm sorry, Penn. You were saying something?
No, sir.
Oh man. Okay. I guess
at Washington again. This is where I come to respect Mars for watching. These teams that do not really dominate the headlines. I'm pretty sure Mars watched Kristaps in Washington. I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah, I was raving about him. Yeah, I was trying to get
23 points per game. Chill. He didn't have this dynamic like when people want to run with the narrative. Okay, cool. Bradley Beal, Jalen Brunson. In 2023? Yeah, I mean, Bradley Beal, Anthony.
He had a good playmaking year.
Am I sitting here listening to you talk to me about him playing on those that bad team in Washington when Cat was in Minnesota, 24-12, 23-11 on them horrible Minnesota
How long
teams.
ago, Chill?
How long ago, Chill? And on top of that, he was ridiculously durable. He was playing. He was a different
level of athlete back then. He was a good shot blocker. He ain't been that for like 5 years. Does that
At
matter
the start
to
of
you?
last season,
5 years is a long
Cat was in
time.
MVP
Chill.
talks, by the way.
Players.
You know what though, Damien? You know what, Damien? Cat
Okay, Damien,
was absolutely balling.
At the start of last year, Cat was in MVP talks. I
Absolutely
think people need to understand this.
Yes.
When he was averaging like 27
in
and
New
14.
York. One, I think that helps.
No.
Number two,
And
they're
he was
winning.
going
Number
ballistic.
three, dominant stretch.
Because he was balling. Number
Winning.
3 is because he's balling.
I vividly remember.
People love comeback stories, man. I don't know what to tell you. People love comeback stories.
It was around December, maybe January, where we was having this conversation about Wemby and Cat, and I swear I got blindsided by Ox. He definitely hit me with the Drago, boom, right to the head. when we was talking about Wemby might be better than Cat, Ox was like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? What's going on? What are we doing?
I was mind boggled at that.
What's happening right now? So now we go from him not being better than Wemby to Kristaps Porzingis, according to the data, him being better than him. This is what's happening with me.
I think Wemby's better than both of them by far.
You got to remember though, Chill. You got to remember though.
I think Cat's better than Porzingis.
Y'all are all way higher on Wemby than
Good.
I just don't think Cat is top 15.
That's true.
Sure.
So there is that. There is that part of it, Chill. That y'all are just higher on Wemby than me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I think.
Oh yeah, I absolutely can accept that. Yeah.
I would just like to clarify my position on what we just talked about. I do not think that KP is better than Cat. However, for the pin hypothetical, one of them at the 5, yes, give me KP. But I do think Cat is a better player. But I do think Porzingis just provides some things, like I said, in 2025 that are very, very, very valuable at the center position.
So we all agree that Cat's better.
Yeah, I don't even think Penn was arguing that KP's better. I just think that.
No, he said Cat's marginally better on offense and clearly.
Yeah, it sounds like
he's saying KP's a better player.
I think Karl Anthony-Towns is a better basketball player. I think Kristaps Porzingis is
more
better to build with and a playoff series. Easier to play with. Look, man, it's the Luke Cornett, Jonas Valanciunas argument all over again.
No, it is not.
One is clearly more talented. One is more talented. One is more optimized.
There's a bigger gap.
Yeah, it's just a big talent gap between what's going on. But it's
Mars, we do this sometimes. Hold on, we do this sometimes where we try and justify a player comparison, but then sometimes it's just like this guy's just better than this guy. But it's hard to substantiate. But there's sort of a universal agreement that that's the case. We need to find the criteria on how we can just get to that guy's just better than that guy.
You watch him play. You watch him play.
And maybe that's the eye test.
Right. I'm gonna be honest. 99% of people can watch two players play, and everyone is watching them and like, this guy is very obviously better than that other guy.
Exactly.
What the saying? If we all can see what's going on, we can all see this guy is better. We can all see. Sometimes we just gotta acknowledge, we can't just keep calling our eyes liars. We can't just keep doing
very much like the eye test when I saw Derrick Rose and I saw Russell Westbrook, and I was like, that dude better than that dude.
Yeah, sometimes it's that simple. In fact, to me, it's always that simple. Watch him play. Who's bad? There you go.
Damien, I do the chat, and this isn't, I didn't come up with this. The chat came up with this yesterday, actually, or maybe it was the day before. When we have, and this isn't an eye test thing. This is specifically when there's something that we know in basketball, something that we know, but for some reason we can't really explain it or it's hard to understand. They're calling that an ox stat.
Oh, I like that.
Really?
It started there yesterday. I didn't know. I was like, hey,
are we trademarking that? You better trademark that.
Where did this start?
Somebody in the chat. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was. I can't remember. I can't remember
alternate account.
I would, but my thing with that, Jay, I would never do that because I'm so bad with this stuff. I will be on my burner. So you know what I'm saying? Like
KD.
I'll get caught in 2 days, bro.
Maybe Brian Colangelo.
Mars, when you watch, because I just saw something interesting, Mars. When you watch,
you saw the guy ask about Halliburton.
Yeah, when you watch Halliburton and you watch Cat, are you looking at Halliburton going, that dude is better than that dude? Just from an eye test. We ain't talking about production.
Yes.
We're not talking context. We're just watching Tyrese Halliburton and we're watching Cat, and you go, that dude is better than that dude at basketball.
Yes. He's less damaging on defense and he drives better offense. He's just a way better decision maker. I don't have to worry about him barreling over people, getting turnovers. Someone who's able to mismatch hunt and create for himself in isolation against bigs, slower footed bigs. In fact, against guys like Cat. Who would have thought? So he's able to score in advantage situations. He's able to create advantage at a level that I don't think Cat does. And then defensively, he's not killing your team. Like I just think he's better. I also just value Halliburton's skill set, and it's part of that is like a Steve Nash bias, but I value the things Halliburton brings to the court. I just think they drive better offense than what Cat does. So yeah,
No,
watch
facts,
Halliburton.
absolutely. Halliburton is.
Yeah.
What
I
do
just
y'all
want
have
to be honest with you,
Halliburton
Miles.
as your brother?
I don't know
if I think Halliburton's top 15. I don't know if I think.
Do you have
I think he's better than Cat.
Does everybody
Also, like, does it matter to anybody
I'd
that one
lean
guy can
towards
have
no,
his
but
head
I'd have
cut
to,
open and smile with blood streaming down his face, and the other guy can break a nail and literally sound like he's like about to have like? Does that matter? Like, does that matter to anybody? Like the toughness of your big man? Like, shit, chill. Like, just the last person on earth, the last person on earth that I expected to be up here telling me Cat is better than Evan Mobley is you. But that's
that one does.
I think
that one does.
You know how I feel about Evan Mobley, and the gap has definitely closed. I think the gap has closed significantly.
But when will it actually close?
This year.
Okay, cool.
I think he passes him.
I look forward to this.
Real talk, to your point, I think there can be a difference between a player that's better than someone, but a player that's a maximizer. So like Halliburton to me is a maximizer because of his style of play. Chris Paul was a maximizer, but there was clearly better players in the league than him at that time. But it doesn't mean that their teams will be better because they're better at maximizing their team. So like
better players than Chris Paul.
I think I get what he's saying. Like Chris Paul was definitely ranked higher in the league than Halliburton is.
Yeah, but who were the?
I'm just saying like that type of that type of thing where like Rondo was another guy.
Okay,
like,
the top 10 all time guys are better than him. Okay.
So Halliburton, I don't know. I wouldn't say that anyone would have Halliburton in the top 10, top 15. But there's very few people that you could replace him in Indiana, and they play that same up tempo, high offense, high octane, high production. Type of.
No, I get what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I think it was a detriment to
Lonzo.
To try
but Lonzo's got a very unique skill set. That's my point. Lonzo's got a very, very unique skill set.
Real talk. Do you think Mike Brown's offense will help Cat or hurt Cat? Everyone's talking about what it's going to do.
I think it's going to help Cat. I don't really see. I mean, Cat's a very talented offensive player. I mean that is not. Yeah,
it's not debatable.
That's phenomenal offensive.
But what happened with Mike Brown? Because he was a defensive specialist, and then now all of a sudden he's the guy that's unlocking all these offensive guys. So he's somewhere along the line, Chill. He had a transformation.
He met Jordy Fernandez.
Your guy, yeah, that's right. He must have.
It was the time he spent with Domantas Sabonis. It just opened up his mind, and he realized. Yes, real talk. Yes, real talk. Exactly.
Is Domantas better than Cat?
You already know he is, but there's too much hate. We just had a whole conversation about Chris Paul.
No, he is not better than Cat.
But it's not a ridiculous question. It's not ridiculous.
I understand it's ridiculous, but no, he's not.
It feels like only I kind of scoffed at that, and I didn't like that.
Ridiculous.
I'm not scoffing at it.
I think Cat is quite comfortably better than Domantas.
I think he's better than him. Yes, I think he's better than Sabonis. I don't think it's he's clearly better than him.
The fact that y'all are willing to have a conversation that long about Kristaps Porzingis, but then we bring up Domantas Sabonis, they're like, that's crazy. It's just
because it was the scenario. It was the scenario that
It's simply hate.
First and foremost,
if Domantas played anywhere else,
if Domantas played in Sacramento, that has nothing to do with it.
The only other time conversation, if Domantas played for Sacramento or Charlotte or Washington, those are the only three teams. Other than that, it'd be all love. If
Kristaps played for Washington, that's why he underrated.
About why Kristaps, just like we did with Kristaps Porzingis, we could have a 20-minute conversation about why Cat is better than Sabonis, and you could counter that. But it's not like
you would realize that he's better.
I would very much like, because what Penn did was Penn sold me the data. Okay, I'm a numbers guy. I care about that stuff, but I also care about production in context. I 100% care about that stuff. So Sabonis in context, is he much better in pick and roll than Cat? Is he much better than Cat at getting to the rim? Is he better at Cat on the glass? Is he better at Cat in scheme?
Yes, he's better on the glass.
Yeah, he's better rebounding.
I mean, that's about
it. Sabonis better rebounding than Cat?
Domantas is a better rebounder than Cat.
Do you think
he's one of the best in the league? Yeah.
Chill, your eyes are lying to you.
I think Domantas is a better rebounder than Cat. Yeah.
And I think now, what's the gap between those two guys, Miles?
I'm comfortable saying Domantas is better.
I
don't think
Domantas may be the best rebounder in the league right now.
I don't hesitate to say Domantas is a better.
Yeah, he might be.
I think Domantas is arguably the best rebounder in the league.
How many rebounders in the league are better than Sabonis in your estimation?
None.
Maybe one.
At best 2, maybe at best.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you
looking at
including
Zoom.
He's top
Mitchell
five.
Rob-
He's
Are you including Mitchell
comfortably
Robinson?
top 5.
Are you
I'm
including
talking
Mitchell
about
Robinson?
a minute, guys. So Steven Adams
That's
and
a
Mitchell
great
Robinson, I'm not
rebound, though.
including.
Cat is a great rebound.
Yeah, Cat is a
Yeah,
really
he
good
is, he is,
rebound.
he is.
Cat is a good rebounder.
Because that was my next question.
Cat's
How many
like a
rebounders?
top 7-8 rebounder in the league.
Yeah.
I was thinking top 5, Mars, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
but
it's
the
five.
Did Mitchell
Zoo-
Robinson have
Zoo-
16
Zoo-
rebounds in
Jokic,
18 minutes
Sabonis,
yesterday?
And then I'll throw in Steven Adams and
Yo,
Andre
did
Drummond
Mitchell
and
Robinson have
Glorious
16 rebounds in 18 minutes yesterday?
Did he?
He's doing preseason rebounds.
Oh shit!
That's
Mars,
what-
go
that's what
go grab a
Mars.
rebound. That's nah, man. We're not.
I'm-
Just,
Hey, this
we're
is
not
hey, this is
disparaging
crazy.
Mitchell Robinson.
That's what we was doing.
Hey,
I'm
this
trying
is
to
crazy.
get my Mitchell Robinson propaganda
You
off,
know,
man.
you know, anytime
we can push
DeMarcus
Mitchell
have
Robinson
20 plus
propaganda
rebounds this
preseason.
season.
Is
in the
Mitchell
regular
Robinson
season.
better than Cat? No,
It's crazy because
Mitchell
last year
Robinson's
in
a better
rebounding,
rebounder.
Mitchell
Sabonis was
Robinson's a
one,
better
and
rebounder
Karl
than Cat.
Anthony-Towns
Cat was 2,
second.
right?
Yeah.
Cat was 2.
And Jokic
And it was
Mhm.
yeah, it wasn't far. That's what I'm saying. I know Cat's a hell of a rebounder, so I'm not going to try to act like he's not. But I think DeMontis is the best rebounder in the NBA. I mean, I don't want to turn this into a DeMontis Sabonis. That was just
I mean,
funny
Sabonis
y'all-
having like 14
y'all
rebounds.
hating
last year, so you know, shit.
That was okay. Go for it. Ox Penn already brought up Scotty Barnes like 3 times.
No,
I don't know why.
I don't see, but that's the
Go
difference
for it,
because
man. Go for it.
I'm known as the Sacramento Kings guy because might be the only Kings fan y'all know. But I rarely bring up my
You actually
players
are now
until,
that you say it. though.
Yeah, really.
until,
Like,
until- you know what I'm saying? Until the players that are like DeMontis are brought up. I typically don't do this, so I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to stay focused. And in fact, let's do some crunch time chats real quick, and
Let's
then
do
we'll
that.
get back. We'll get back to the dark horse contenders because I think real talk and Jay and you two, Damien. I think neither one of you guys have gone. Okay, so yeah, let's do some of these crunch time chats real quick.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.